Yesterday, I asked you, no, just kidding, that's not my channel, that's Jack's Films. Last week, and actually for the whole month, I've been asking you guys to send me questions so I can answer them, whether they were weird or not. So, here we go. When did you start believing in Larry? Well, I'm glad you asked. When I was young, I was petrified. Well, when I was a youngster. No, but long story short, when I was starting to get into One Direction in 2012, I saw some One Direction interviews, and at first I thought it was Louis and Liam who had the bromance. I don't know why, I just saw the most, interaction between them. But then I started watching more and more interviews of One Direction, Fetus One Direction, and I'm like, no, there has to be something between these two, meaning Larry. I just saw something there. I just saw something between Louis and Harry that was so much different than Liam and Louis. And I think that's how it all started. To be honest, I love it, but I hate it at the same time. There's no turning back. How old are you, and do you have a girlfriend? Ew. I am 18, but I act 4. And to answer the second part of that question, I am in my room alone filming about 2 guys who don't even know me. That should answer your question. What is your favorite music by One Direction? Hashtag Larry's fuck. I think you mean what is my favorite song by One Direction, and I'd have to go with their latest album, Maybe If I Could Fly, because that is hashtag Larry as fuck. But no, to be honest, I cannot pick a song. There's too many that I like. What is your biggest dream? Well, if we're talking about Larry related, then my biggest dream is for them to come out and be free. But if we're not talking about Larry related, then I'd say my biggest dream is to be successful, have family love and support, and maybe for my YouTube channel to grow. What would you do if you got stuck in a room with Larry? 1, I would count my blessings, because when do you think that you would ever be able to be stuck in a room with Larry? That's amazing. So I'd probably be in the corner praying to God that, thank you for letting me be trapped in this small room. And then Louis and Harry would probably be looking at me like, who the fuck is this chick? Why is she so weird? And after asking them a million questions, I would subtly take my camera out of my back pocket and start filming and say, ready? Because you know something's gonna go down. There's gonna be a sex tape leaking. Yeah, so basically I'd be the first one to see them have sex. Any other ships other than Larry inside and out of the 1D fandom? Well, as you know, Larry is my main. Well, in the 1D fandom, I'd say besides Larry, my other ship would probably be Zayn and Liam. Oh wait, shit, but Zayn's not there anymore. Fuck! So maybe Lilo, Louis and Liam? Or no, Neum. Can I just say that I ship all the boys together? Oh, but outside the fandom, I have a ton. Okay, so Dan and Phil, Shane and Joey, Joe and Casper, Matt and Nick, even though they broke up. Gosh, I thought I had more ships. I don't know, basically any gay ship on YouTube. Have you ever been in Europe? And if so, which countries? 1, I've never been in Europe. So 2, I've never been in any countries in Europe. But yes, I would love to go to Europe. I'm tired of being in America. What is your favorite Larry fan fiction? Do you really want to ask this question? Well, I know everybody says this, but mine would have to be Escapade, because that is the only fan fiction I really got into. Guys, I have read so many fanfics that I can't even remember the names of them. All I know is that they were all perfect. And I mainly read on Archive of Our Own and sometimes Wattpad. I've also written too. What made you start believing in Larry? Well, as soon as I saw those 2 boys look at each other, I was gone. It's hard to explain. I saw my grandparents when I looked at them. I saw that old love, that genuine love. It's rare. So basically when I just started seeing Louis and Harry interact, that's when I started shipping it, but what made me ship it more was just watching all these Larry YouTube videos, and also those huge analysis posts on Tumblr, explaining why Larry's real, all the proofs. And I think I didn't watch Freddie's My Queen until maybe a few years ago, so she came a little bit after. But it's obvious, all you have to do is look at Louis and Harry and then you should start shipping it. What's the first thing you're gonna do when Larry comes out? And your articulation? Well, I'll tell you the rundown. What's probably gonna happen is I'm gonna be in bed with the covers over my head. Oh my god, that rhymed. And I'm probably gonna be sleeping through it, because that's just my luck. Then I'm gonna go on Tumblr, and then everyone's gonna be talking about how Larry came out. They would've got the first-hand experience, then me, I'd just be like, what? But to be honest, when Larry comes out, I'm gonna be so happy that I'm not going to be able to express anything. I'm just gonna be looking at my phone, probably staring at it for the whole day. And then 5 years later, I'll look into the camera like they do on The Office, and I'll be like, will I ever get over it? No.
When did you first become a directioner?
I just watched like one interview and I just saw like the chemistry between the boys. They were funny, they were good looking, they were British. It was everything I was looking for. And I just got sucked in, I just got attached. And basically once you start watching one One Direction video, you can't stop. The Video Diaries did it for me and there's no way of coming out of this fandom.
How did you become a directioner and when did you realize you were too far up their asses?
Well, I knew I was up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their asses probably the first day I watched an interview. Because when you're like me and you start to go into the shower and you're trying to memorize all the boys' names, but you can't remember 2 and you're like dreading over it, that's how you know that you've become obsessed. When you're mad at yourself for not remembering a boy band member's name. Like, I remembered Liam, Louis, and Harry's, but I could never remember Zayn and Niall's name. I thought Niall was just the freaking weirdest name. I'm like, okay, no, there's the Nile River, but what is this Niall? And how can it be Irish? And Zayn, like, I know there's a kid at my school named Zayn, but that's not his real name. So I'm just like, no, Zayn can't be a real name. It has to be something else, like Zach. So I was contemplating this all in the shower. Yeah, I didn't even know who One Direction was. I thought they were like a 50-year-old band that my dad would like. So on the radio when they were announcing, oh, One Direction are touring with Big Time Rush at your local SPAC, I'm like, I like Big Time Rush, but I don't know who this One Direction is, so I'm not even gonna go see it. I wasted my one and only chance of seeing One Direction, and it would be 15 minutes away from me. They even filmed their Gotta Be You music video, which was an hour away from me, which was in Lake Placid. I missed all my chances. My aunt lives in Lake Placid. I am so mad. The only reason why I missed my chance is because I thought they were a 50-year-old band. So guys, never doubt 50-year-old bands. You might like them.
If you could meet Larry in real life and only say one sentence to them, what would it be? P.S. Larry is real.
Well, basically what you said in your PS, that's what I would say to them. I'd probably jump out of a random bush and be like, Larry's real! Or I'd probably just say, you better kiss, and if not, I will not buy any of your albums again. So, I don't know, I'd probably say something threatening to them, but that would result in their bodyguard coming to get me. I don't give a fuck. I can say One Direction's bodyguard touch me. Yes! Goals.
Describe Larry Stylinson in 3 words. You are amazing. Greetings from Chile.
Well, greetings to you, Chile, but describe it in 3 words. Oh my god.
What's your favorite Larry moment? Also, what's the craziest receipt proof that you have gotten about Larry?
I am torn between many Larry moments, because all the moments put together will be much cuter than my love life that is currently non-existent. But I'd have to say that time when they were in that 2012 interview and Harry was behind Louis and he was like subtly touching his arm, like rubbing his hand against Louis's arm, and then Louis puts his whole arm back just so Harry can like keep touching him, and then everything else happened, and yeah, that was my favorite moment. And the craziest receipts that I ever gotten was when someone said, my aunt's friend's mother's dog's friend's sister's brother's uncle-in-law said they saw Larry make out. Obviously I was exaggerating, but I've gotten receipts that sound a little bit like that.
What do you think Harry and Louis do in their free time?
Well, I think they sit on the couch and watch TV. They probably cuddle. Then they probably play a nice game of Scrabble. And then they probably go upstairs and do normal things like shower and pick up, you know, their house and clean. And then they probably go outside to walk their dog. And then they probably fight sometimes. And then they probably order food. They probably make fun of us. They probably laugh at us Larry shippers like, oh my god, they think Louis is a top, and they argue about who tops and who bottoms. They go on Tumblr and laugh at us some more on how we analyze too much. And then they probably have some banging sex at the end. By the way, I don't know what that voice was.
What's your thoughts on Zayn going solo and making an album?
Well, 1, Zayn, how dare you? 2, I support Zayn in his decision. I mean, I get why he left. And 3, what album?
Do you like 5 Sauce and are you going to any of their concerts?
I kind of like 5 Sauce. I do have a shirt. I wore it in one of my One Direction vlogs, and then someone commented, why are you wearing a 5 Seconds of Summer shirt in a One Direction vlog? And I was like, cause I motherfucking can. Also, about a few months ago, I recorded a video of me actually at a 5 Seconds of Summer concert, and I feel like that's the closest to One Direction I'll ever get, because their tickets are just way too expensive. What's your favorite 1D music video? I love all of them, but I'd have to say the Best Song Ever one, because that had so much acting in it, all the costumes, all the makeup, all like the bad dancing. Not only was it the best song ever, but it was the best thing ever, and I want that time back.
What are your favorite artists?
Da Vinci, Picasso, Van Gogh.
Oh, music artists.
I'd have to say anything pop. Listen to anything like nowadays on the radio. I also like some alternative punk rock too. Basically, I'm not picky about music. I like all types of music. Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, Panic at the Disco, yeah!
How would you react if Larry came out?
I kind of already answered this, but I'd basically just be like, finally. And I'd probably make a YouTube video about it, and I'd probably rant for like 12 hours. So be prepared.
What is your favorite 1D album? Please put this in your video. It'd mean the world to me.
Well, stop complaining. It is in the video. But I would have to say Made in the AM is my favorite album. It's just so much more mature, and I say that about every one of their albums. Like, oh my gosh, it sounds so mature. Like when their second album came out, I said it was so much more mature.
If Louis and Liam came out for each other and Harry and Niall came out for each other, which would you ship?
Really? Well, one, I ship Lilo as a bromance, so I really wouldn't mind. I'd just be like, oh, that's cute. But if Neri came out, you guys probably don't know this, but I do not like Neri at all. But if they were a couple, I probably would still support it. Could you imagine the double dates though? But if you really want my opinion, I just think the whole band is dating each other, so really what does it matter now?
What is the first thing you will do when Larry comes out? Keyword when, not if.
I like your wording. I'd be like, bitches, I told you so. Then I would watch each and every delete their Tumblr account while the fireworks were in the background. I can't wait.
And last question, how long have you been shipping Larry?
Well, I got into this fandom about March 2012, and that's how long I've been liking One Direction. But I also said ever since I've liked One Direction, I've liked Larry. So I've kind of been shipping Larry since March 2012. And currently it's January 2016. So me, dedicated. I'm not even joking. I don't like this game of hide and seek. Louis and Harry are hiding on me, and I'm like, come out, wherever you are. Except we know where they are, they're just not coming out. So anyway, if you guys want to ask me more questions and you want to know more about me, ask me questions on either Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag #AskSarah, and maybe you'll be featured in my video. And I don't care, it can be any question. I really don't care. All my social media links down below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.